the Steam Deck. It's the game-changing consoleized PC created by Valve, and the handheld form factor makes for a tempting comparison between the deck and other handheld PCs, and maybe even the Nintendo Switch. And while you can definitely play Switch games on your Steam Deck at higher resolutions and better frame rates than the Switch even, it's not a fair comparison. First, the Switch is meant to dock to your TV, and we all know that the Steam Deck's dock got delayed, right? Well, enter JSAUX and their premium Steam Deck dock. I'm tempted to say JSAUX, but I'm gonna try and say JSAUX throughout the rest of this video. If I get it wrong a couple times, you better call me out in the comments, because what else are comments for? Now, they sent me this device along with 2 screen protectors and 2 cases. Now, we'll be reviewing all of them in this video. And the first thing that we're gonna talk about is the tempered glass. Now, I'm not a huge fan of the idea of adding a screen protector to my deck, as I've spent the extra money to get the 512GB model with the anti-glare screen. Adding a screen protector to my deck seems to undermine the idea of the anti-glare etching that I paid a premium price for. With that being said though, I can definitively say that I like this screen protector. First, it comes in a 2-pack, as any good screen protector should. Furthermore, it also came with tools to help you install the glass properly. Now I like this, and applying it to the deck was a cinch. Just make sure that you properly clean your screen first, as I tried but messed it up. Now I want to touch on the fact that there are multiple Amazon listings for JSAUX screen protectors, and one of them has really bad reviews saying that it doesn't actually fit the screen. But the kit that I was sent fits the deck's screen perfectly. I'm very pleased with this. Next up, let's talk about cases. Now, as I said, they sent us 2 cases right here. I have 2 different Steam Deck cases. One of them we put on my deck and the other we put on Emily's. Now, I've been using the protective standing case, and Emily has been using the silicone protective case. I really like how mine feels. It adds an ever so slight increase of grippable surface, and with my big hands, it is definitely a welcome change. I feel it's slightly more comfortable to reach the thumbsticks and buttons. However, if you have small hands, I can really imagine this being a bad thing. Now, applying the kickstand version to my deck was very straightforward. You just pop the grips into each cavity and then snap the top over the top of the Steam Deck. And voila, it really is simple. The kickstand works as advertised, and the whole thing comes off almost as easily. But that's where we run into the biggest issue with this case. See, my deck no longer fits into the included carrying case that came with my Steam Deck. If you have the standing case on your deck, you won't be able to fit it in the original carrying case. That's a big deal for a few reasons. First and foremost is because I'm not going to chuck my Steam Deck into a bag without its carrying case. And that means that I would need to first remove the protective case. And I'm not going to carry them separately. I mean, it's a hard case that takes up just about the same amount of space as the regular Steam Deck without the case. And second, if I actually need to take my Steam Deck out in public, removing the protective case from my Steam Deck defeats the purpose of the protective case to begin with. Being out and about with my deck means that I'm probably in need of more protection, not less. Now, JSAUX does offer their own carrying case that's large enough to fit a few accessories in it, and the website says that it's big enough to store your deck without removing the protective case. However, the Steam Deck's original case is already big enough as it is that carrying it in a backpack is a pretty cumbersome ordeal. So getting an even bigger case, at least for me, is categorically out of the question, at least until I'm ready to get a new, larger backpack. Now, I said that they sent us 2 cases, and while I like mine, Emily's silicone case is another story. She said she'd give it a 7 out of 10 overall, and while it mostly feels nice in the hand, she said that it does change the ergonomics to such an extent that her hands fell asleep while she was playing Dragon Age. And I can say that I am not a fan of, I don't even know what to call these, grip bristles? What are they? I don't like how they feel against my palm. And similarly, the tolerances of the silicone just are not up to snuff. They seem ever so slightly off. Though I do have to be fair in that I did all that complaining about the carrying case not fitting. This actually does fit in the carrying case with the silicone protective case on it. So take that for what you will. And just on kind of a humorous note, I noticed that while I was writing this review that the JSAUX website uses silicon and silicone interchangeably when they are decidedly not the same thing. This is a silicone case. Anyway, let me ask you a question. Are you enjoying this video? Do you believe in the work that I'm doing here? Make sure that you like that smash button and just take a little nibble out of that subscribe button so that you stay up to date with all the Linux gaming news that we're covering here on the channel. We're trying to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of October, and I think with your help, we can do it. And thanks. All right, finally, the main event, the dock. Now this thing is a beast, and I've been using it for, I don't know, I've had it here for about a week or so, and it's incredibly cool. So let's put it through its paces together. At first blush, the unboxing process is pretty lackluster. For a product in this price class though, I mean, 50 bucks, that's to be expected. It's just a simple cardboard box with a plastic bag containing the dock and minimal documentation. The USB-C connector has a little plastic cover, and that's nice, I guess. First time I've ever seen one of those for a USB-C cable. I'm used to seeing them on like DisplayPort and HDMI cables. Now, the Steam Deck is no stranger to the concept of docking. There are many USB-C hubs that come with a full suite of ports. Things like USB, HDMI, DisplayPort, SD card readers, audio jacks, and even Ethernet. I have a few of them here, but these all have some kind of drawback, whether they are missing features, have ports that are not supported on the deck, because why should the universal and universal serial bus be anything other than straightforward, or they're simply just cumbersome to use. And that's where the JSAUX dock makes a huge difference. See, it has the USB expansion, it has the HDMI port, and it has Ethernet, and it's all designed for the Steam Deck. But it also has a slot that lets you seat your Steam Deck in an upright position. Now, my biggest gripe about the other USB hubs that I've got on hand is needing to prop the deck up to allow heat to vent properly while docked. I've made a video about 3D printing accessories for the Steam Deck, and I went through at least 3 different Steam Deck stands before I found one that I liked. You should definitely check that video out. I think it's pretty interesting. You can find a link up here. However, with the JSAUX dock, that feature is built right in. So let's actually dive into the specs. According to the documentation that came with the device and with JSAUX website, the Steam Deck's dock has 3 USB Type-A 3.0 ports at up to 5 gigabits per second with 5 volt 1 amp power out, which is pretty standard. Then we have an HDMI 2.0 port that can render up to 4K at 60 Hertz, and we have a gigabit Ethernet jack. This dock is also capable of 100 watt power delivery via the USB-C port, which is more than the Steam Deck needs by a comfortable margin. So how does this thing perform? Well, it's great. In all my tests, I didn't have any issues. I tried monitors and TVs and they all worked. And the USB device I tried performs as expected. But the one thing that didn't work, and I found quite curious, is that if you have the protective case from JSAUX on your deck, the deck doesn't actually sit firmly in the dock, thus kind of defeating the purpose. So you have to take the case off to seat your deck, and it's kind of a glaringly obvious oversight here, and that really sucks. In testing the dock though, I did find that the USB ports live up to the spec, and so does the gigabit Ethernet port. So the question is, should you buy any of these products? Well, I would recommend the screen protector if you don't have the 512 gigabyte model. But I mean, I did apply it to the 512 gig model. I didn't see too much of a difference. It's just in the back of my head, the cheapskate is saying, you paid for this feature on the Steam Deck, why are you covering it up? I would say that the silicone case is a pass for me. And the standing case is it depends. I mean, really, you need to have big hands, as it does change how you grip the device, and keep in mind that it no longer fits in the stock carrying case once it's applied to your deck. And finally, the docking station is a solid yes. I really like the dock, and it fulfills the need that Valve's leaving open by delaying the official dock. It's got good, solid construction, and my one complaint is that the Ethernet comes out the side. I'd rather have it come out the back like the rest of the cables. But I would love to know what you think. Have you tried any of these products? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear from you. Now, I want to give a special shout out to Sheldon Halcomb, one of my top tier Singularity members on Patreon. It's because of folks like Sheldon over on Patreon that I'm able to continue growing this channel into what it's become today. If you believe in the work that I'm doing and you want to help support this show, you can use the links below to become a patron or a YouTube member and pledge your monthly support. I really appreciate it. That's going to do it for now though. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a blessed day, and I'll see you next time.